Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi my loves, it's Destin Choice and you're watching Choice TV. I wanted to get on here with my nice late midnight snack and talk about the Keith Lee situation. So as you guys know, Keith Lee is one of the biggest food bloggers on the internet right now. Now personally, I never really saw the hype with Keith Lee because when I see Keith Lee, I just see a young black man sitting in his car eating food. I never saw anything spectacular about him, and I always just thought his videos were boring as fuck. But I will be honest, as the years have progressed, he did grow on me because his videos aren't just about reviewing or critiquing food. A lot of times it's about him literally helping businesses, helping restaurants prevail, figuring out if it's just the location, if it's just poor marketing, or if the restaurant really is a hidden gem.
Chef Wilson says they're selling about 300 honey hot mac and cheese fries a day.
This is our most popular item on the menu.
Lee's review of them helped bring in brand new customers like Dslr Hardy and her daughter London.
He has put me on to a lot of really cool restaurants. I checked out one restaurant that he went to in Dallas called Hutchins Barbecue, which was actually really good. So I will be honest, a lot of his recommendations are top tier, and he does know good food and definitely does have a good palate. Now, he, of course, is getting dragged again because if you guys didn't know, he's currently in London, the United Kingdom, trying out all the different foods and the food scene.
He went out to try British food and he tried a normal English breakfast. The British were furious because he showed a horrible representation of what their food is and he simply didn't like the food.
The bread is definitely stale. The tomatoes kind of taste like they were. Egg. They just fried the egg. They didn't do anything to it. Mushroom. Cooked mushroom. Nothing on it. Bubble and squeak. Doesn't taste like anything to me.
If you're going to come to London and you're going to eat a full English breakfast, why are you eating beans one for one and individually? And why are you not putting a bit of everything on the fork and eating it in one? You're not supposed to eat everything individually. You're supposed to add your own salt and season it to how you like. You're supposed to add your own sauce. If you want hot sauce, like you've said in one video, add hot sauce. We all add sauce when we want it, okay? And I don't see any butter on any of your toast. What's going on? You're having full breakfasts at a 5-star hotel. You need to go to Ends for breakfast. Then when you go to Terry's, you're eating beans individually. What's going on? Please link up with someone.
Americans have the worst food taste in the world, and you know what furthers my point? Keith Lee. Keith Lee, I need a word with you. Do you know why? Because you have came to the capital of the best food in the world, aka England, and you don't enjoy any of our food. That just seems like you've got something wrong with you in America, that your palate is not quite right. It doesn't attune to our amazing food and capabilities over here. Because you're telling me you had a full English breakfast and you called it bland. Bland. Beans. Do you call beans bland? You called beans bland, and then you had a spud, a jacket potato with beans and tuna, and you said you don't like it. You don't like it. You pulled a face.
People were even going as far as saying, no, you're eating the wrong. You're supposed to eat the blood sausage with the beans and the mashed potatoes, and you're supposed to add your own vinegar on the fork. Everything's supposed to taste nice and fresh. And overall, people were furious about his opinions, and for some reason, this has made national news. I don't understand why when Keith Lee goes to other cities, it makes national news that he doesn't like the food. This happened to him in Atlanta when he tried Atlanta food, and he talked about how horrible the service is and how shitty the management can be. Y'all food sucks. I hate to say it, but people say the same thing about Paris. People say the same thing about the Netherlands. People say the same thing about Switzerland. The food just sucks. It just is what it is.
I mean, I hate to say it, and no offense to a lot of my British viewers watching this, but y'all food nasty as fuck. Y'all food is nasty. Now, it's not all the food, of course. I will be honest. I've had some good food in the UK, and one of my favorite countries in the world is the UK. My second favorite city in the world is London. London is a really great city with a lot to offer, a lot of diversity. But I will be honest, people ain't going to London for the food. Even people in London don't enjoy London for the food. Let's just be honest. A lot of the food is bland, unseasoned, a little bit of salt and pepper, and it's just bland. I've had a lot of food, you know what I mean? Like, it took me going to like 15 different restaurants just to find food that I actually like. You know, I found some good Pakistani food out there. Pakistan food is really good out there. You know, Ghanaian food is really good out there. The Jamaican food out there is hit or miss. And I even had Algerian food out there, which was fucking trash. And I'll be honest, every time I watch food reviewers do food reviews about London, it's 9 times out of 10 never good. And anytime it is positive, you can always tell that it's paid promo. Even food reviewers, when they review British food, they never even fucking finish eating it. They just show themselves taking a bite, but you don't ever see them swallow it.
To the punters of the East End for over 90 years. One pie, one mash and liquor, a parsley based green sauce costs under £5. Hashtag cheap eat alert. And if you're feeling really brave, you need to order some jelly deals. Next up, there ain't no better way to start the day than a full English at the Regency Cat. This family run greasy spoon has been serving up generous hearty portions of comfort food since the 40s, and their fry up is often touted as the best in London.
Oh my god, did y'all see his face? He literally jump cutted his reaction. He even showed himself swallowing it. This is why people like Keith Lee have a place. These food reviewers are full of it. You go to these restaurants, they be like, oh my god, it's so scrumptious, so good. You try the food and the food sucks. I can't tell you how many times I've tried food in Miami, Atlanta, you know, New England, anywhere I've ever fucking been. I can't tell you how many restaurants I've tried in different cities, and the food is just awful. And it's because a lot of these food reviewers are being paid a couple $100 to $1,000 for their reviews. And Keith Lee doesn't charge anything. He does these reviews for free just so he can get an authentic reaction. And that's why he's able to thrive so much, because he's unbought and unbossed. A lot of these fucking people who complain, y'all will sit up here and be like, oh, but, you know, other food reviewers never had a problem. Yeah, that's because they're fucking getting paid fucking £70 and 16 pence to freaking review a restaurant that ain't shit.
Like, I be watching their videos like, now swallow it, bitch. Swallow it. Because, let's be real, like, the food sucks. Like, do you see this stuff? Oh, like, who the fuck is eating that? London and the UK in general has good ethnic food. British and English food is trash. If you're gonna eat good British food, you have to get it from somebody who comes from a different country and added their own fusion to it. So to see people drag him and get upset because he's not representing their food very well, all fucking well, bitch. It's literally his fucking opinion. I didn't really understand why people were so upset over his opinion. It kind of reminds me of when I tried Trini food for the first time, and I tried a Trini restaurant out here in Los Angeles, and the food was trash. And I was honest because there were other food reviewers who were literally reviewing the restaurant, and they was gassing it up saying, oh my god, this is so good. I went, them fucking patties were rancid. The fucking sauce was all fucking like minimal. You know, I was missing stuff out of my order. And then the food tastes like it was just sitting there for hours. It wasn't made for effort. So with effort, to the point where I literally had to go to the actual country to find good food. And now Trinidad is like one of my favorite places in the fucking world to get good food. Some of the best food I've ever had was in Trinidad. Like, people are literally sitting up here saying, oh, you're supposed to mix it. You're supposed to get a scoop of beans with a scoop of butter and a scoop of chicken and a scoop of ketchup. Like,
all of the stereotypes that I've heard about British food from this American have been reinforced by another American. But what I think everyone else in the world needs to understand is, my personal opinion, Americans on the whole aren't people who like food. They like the idea of food. They like the concept of food. They like the fullness that food gives them. But they don't actually like food through no fault of their own, mainly just due to the government's lack of funding and any sort of high quality and quality assurance of food. The fact that they let any random preservative and E-number and any dega pesticide, herbicide, everything in their food, pumping it full of who knows what. I'm not saying the UK doesn't have a problem, but Americans so lax with their laws, right? So it's no fault of the American people. But I think because for decades and decades and decades and decades, they haven't had just baseline, fresh, organic, like good quality food. They've had to oversalt, overseason, overpreserve everything to the degree that they can't actually taste the base ingredient anymore. Because how did Keith Lee have a pork sausage in his fry up and say this tastes like pork, as opposed to He had mushrooms and bubbling squeak, and he said this tastes like the ingredients.
You eat it. You come eat this shit.
Y'all don't season y'all food. Like when I did my video, you know, trying Trini food in America, and I thought the shit was nasty as fuck when I was addressing that particular restaurant for not cooking it with love and effort, I basically said, this food sucks and the food is not seasoned and bland. And people in the comment section were grilling me, saying, you don't know nothing about no seasonings. All of our food is good. You probably don't know nothing. And people were even saying to me, oh my God, your taste buds are colonized. And one person even said, you know, stick to burgers and fries. And that's not even the truth. A lot of people think Americans just eat pizza, burgers, and fries. And yes, a lot of us do eat pizza, burgers, and fries and wings. And that is a standard American dish. But pizza, burgers, and fries is just not, it's not standard American food. There's really no such thing as just standard American food. Because let's be honest with y'all for a second. America is made up of different cultures. Fun fact, America don't even have an official language. So because Americans have an official language, we have different types of food from different types of cultures. For one, we have soul food created by Black Americans who were brought here from Africa and brought here from all over the world. The Asians, you know, when the Chinese come here, did y'all know that the Chinese don't even really give us the food that they actually eat? They feed us lard, trash, and garbage because they don't give a fuck about our health. They're like, stupid Americans just eating our fucking fatty, greasy food. Like, people don't even know that there's a whole separate set of black Americans in a certain community in South Carolina called the Gullah Geechee. They have their own language, their own culture, and they've been in America for generations. They pay homage to Africa. They got their own little slang and their own type of demeanor, and they have their own cuisine. You know, a lot of y'all know the Gullah Geechee from Gullah Gullah Island, but they are an actual culture, and they have their own food, and they cook it and season it in a different way compared to Black Americans who just identify with just being Black American. That's why I say the British don't understand. They think all of us Americans are just stupid idiots that don't know geography. They think that we're just dumb idiots that don't know how to point China out in a map. Now, I'll be honest, most people can't do that, and most Americans are stupid as fuck and can't even read geography, I'll be honest. But the British have a very warped perception of what good food is because they're just used to their food not being seasoned. I had to go all the way to the trenches in London to find good food. I went all the way to Brixton, and people were telling me, oh my God, watch out, like you might get sliced. They got machetes and knives. I went and it was a beautiful ass neighborhood. I'm like, what the hell, what machetes and knives are y'all talking about? I remember when I went to London, someone like literally walked up to me and literally said to me like, hey mate, how are you mate? So would you like to sign our petition to help stop knife violence? I almost laughed in his fucking face because I couldn't even believe that shit. So everybody has their perception of what they believe is good, seasoned, and what's dangerous.
And then most people don't even know this, but their official dish isn't even a British meal. It's literally chicken tikka masala. That's from India. So the UK's whole cuisine is being made up of other cuisines. Kind of in a sense similar to America, but then not really, because I mean, at least American food is edible. Their food is barely edible, and that's no disrespect to them. But let's just be for real. Why do we hold Keith Lee's opinions to such a high standard? Who is he? Like, why does his opinion matter so much about food? Like, did he go to culinary school? Is he a food advisor? I'm really trying to figure out why people hold his opinion at such a high standard. Is it the followers?
And who the fuck is Keith Lee? He ain't no fucking Gordon Ramsay. He's not no culinary genius. It's his fucking opinion. Keith Lee is better than me, because if it was me eating that food and people were dragging me, I would have been like, then you eat this shit, bitch. You eat it. You come eat this shit. Since it's so good. I would have threw that shit right in the trash. And y'all know how I get down. So Keith Lee is not as blunt and realistic as I am, but y'all food nasty as fuck. Same thing when people come to your city and they say the food sucks. They don't know where to go.
You know, a good example is quick story time. I remember I went to St. Louis, Missouri, which is a state and city in the Midwest. And tell me why when I was in St. Louis, Missouri, I was trying to try all the barbecue and the Chinese food because people say they got the best Chinese food and they call it the Chinaman over there. They were like, we got the best Chinaman. I tried that shit. That shit went straight in the fucking trash. I tried like 3 different Chinese restaurants and I still wasn't impressed. I was like, what the fuck y'all talking about? So that's kind of what I mean. You know, a lot of people who live in their city, of course, they're going to hype up the food in their city because the grass to them is greener.
That's just what it is. You know, every time I ask people when I go to London, like, hey, y'all, like, I'm in London, like, you know, where can I eat? And some of y'all will literally be like, oh, go to Nando's, go to Nando's, go to Nando's. That's literally a place that serves chicken and french fries. The fuck I'm gonna do with that? That's literally a Portuguese restaurant that serves chicken or fish and french fries. It's okay to say that there's toxic aspects of your culture. There's toxic aspects of America, and I'm able to call it out. That's that for this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, that's that. Choice out this bitch.